Alright, hey guys, it's Turok, and today we're going to be doing the reaction to One Piece chapter, or not reaction, it's a review. I already read it here. I'm just reviewing a little bit of it, of One Piece chapter 1110. And oh boy, there's, there's a lot going on here. So we're at the point now, a little recap, that the Straw Hats are nearly ready to escape. Are nearly ready to escape the from Egghead. Meanwhile, Luffy is trying to hold off Saturn and Kizaru, and he successfully gets rid of Kizaru from the fight. Well, was having trouble fighting Saturn, as even his punches, even I'm assuming with his advanced hockey, is not harming Saturn. And then well, because Vegapunk has appeared to have died, or very close, hoping he's not really dead though, we find out he had a contingency plan to reveal to the world the truth he found out through the research of O'Hara. And because this is happening, the other five elders realize they gotta help Saturn. This is getting really out of hand. Saturn, for his just perceived instability, though, is having a hard time fighting with Luffy too. His Gear 5, their work is and making the two of them more or less on par, where Saturn's not easily taking out Luffy, and Luffy's not easily taking out Saturn. Chapter, the other elders have decided they have to come and help Saturn and make sure that Vegapunk's message doesn't get out. So Vegapunk's broadcasting this thing all across the world through the use of the Marines' system of Denden Mushies. That way, because Marine bases are practically everywhere, that way any of those ones, they can piggyback off them and then quickly get to nearby Denden Mushies and any communities that have even just an audio one. So we found out there's audio and visual. So like with the town that Luffy grew up in, Fusha Village, does not have a video one, but they can still hear Vegapunk's message. It still can project the audio even when there's no visual. And so at the end of the last chapter, where was this here? Wait a minute, come on. Where's this one here? Why don't that show up? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your comment. Thank you for joining the chat. My favorite character, that'd probably be Whitebeard. Whitebeard for sure. Sorry, I'm just not used to having someone actually on the chat. It's been a while since anyone's talked to me. I'm also just recording this to get into the thing. Mihawk's really good up there too, because he's I like his stoic, chaotic, neutral, whatever he's got. Sanji moment. I was hoping Sanji would fight a little bit with Kizaru when what was the end of 117? Him or 8, him and Luffy were standing off together. But then Luffy just sent him to take Vegapunk and evacuate. I was really hoping to see Sanji into the Kizaru fight. But I don't know what's going to happen now. Everyone's just escaping, and by this chapter, we're going to probably see. We're not sure we're going to see all the others. Luffy, spoilers. Luffy's pretty much the only one almost left behind at this point. The others may be able to like evacuate, so we're going to have to see that. I'm going to get into that now. I'm just trying to get the one other piece of information up here. I'll try to keep it. I don't know if this thing. Why I can't? Maybe I can't get a sound effect notification. But I'm sorry I missed your first comment. I think at some point we're gonna have the Gorosei fight some of the Straw Hats. Yes, the almost certainly Zoro and Saint. What's his name? Ethan Barron. I think I have the wrong translation for that. The one with the Kitetsu the first. Zoro, I'm certain is going to fight that guy. I don't know who Luffy will fight. That's a good question I might have to think about as I go through this chapter. If Sanji were to fight one of the Gorosei, probably one of these guys can fly. I'm thinking he could fight that one because Sanji can use the Geppo, whatever it's called, thing that's similar to what the submarines and Cypher Pole can use. What was I just gonna look for? Oh yeah. One more second. I need to get their actual names. I got this chapter up that's not showing their proper names. Yeah, I think this is the one with their names. Excellent, right here. There are their names. Okay. Because some of the names, I'm looking at a rough chapter there. Saint Ethan Baron. Oh, the names are alright. Ethan Baron, Top Man, Marcus. So I was just gonna finish. Yeah. Sanji. Luffy was standing behind with Saturn to hold off Saturn. We also finally got to see last two chapters ago. We saw the what the Blackbeard pirates were doing there. So Davon has accomplished getting the touching Saturn so she can apparently presumably take his form. But like what she do with that is something we'll have to wait for another day. I can't think of what she could do with that really, because I would think Saturn, because Saturn here is still here, he can probably put out a alert like, hey, I am here and I'm not gonna, that's not me, and all that kind of stuff. And let's see, and the last thing too is now Vegapunk, there's a countdown again. Oda loves these countdowns, and this time there's about 10 minutes to go, and it's a little less by this chapter, to where he's gonna finally speak about what he wants. So the Gorosei, the other Gorosei somehow are summoned by Saturn, because he's already there. He opens a portal of sorts, and they all arrive here, and they're all in their forms, and they are all basically based on yokai, or demons of Japanese myth. And I tried looking up a few of the names, and I'll probably make another video looking over that a second, but it's very, so Luffy's up against these guys, and yeah, a lot going on. Hold on, what'd you say? Yeah, Sanji, that is one thing. Sanji is really good in certain situations and knowing how to manage stuff like that. Nami too. Nami and Sanji are great at that. Sanji's done good with that stuff before too. He's had his great moments. My favorite with him is in I think it was Water 7. He's the one who takes initiative. I think he follows Robin and sees her leaving with the cipher pole. And then in the Alabasta Saga, back I think on Little Garden, he has the wherewithal to pretend he's Mr. 3, and he's the first one to actually talk to Crocodile and find out about a little bit about what was going on there. Yeah, Sanji has his moments, but he's kind of one of my least favorite Straw Hats at the same time, because Oda has him acting like kind of like simping all the time. More so as he does in this chapter. He just him and his little rivalry, the rivalry of Zoro, makes me angry at both of them. They need to cut each other a little slack. Anyways, let's get into the chapter. So briefly I'll just go over. They have another chapter cover, and this one shows Momonosuke and Yamato together. And it's just talking about Yamato telling Momonosuke that she's gonna go travel around and wants to visit the rest of Wano now that she's free. And this image just entrenches me into wanting to ship these two together. That guy, the goat. Sanji, I like Sanji. He just frustrates me with his other attitudes and stuff. So let's get into this. I'm gonna get started. So we start out with seeing the from a far view, we see the other elders start arriving. There's lightning and stuff coming across the sky, and we get into the perspective of the Marines watching this at first, and they even know like this is the same thing that happened when Saint Saturn arrived. We see it from the Vice Admiral, what's her name? Bluegrass? I think it's Bluegrass. We see her looking at it. We see some of the other rank and file Marines, and then we switch briefly to Atlas and Frankie and Bonnie watching too, and they're with some of the other giants. And I'm calling this one that they're with Hagar, like Hagar the Horrible, which is an old comic strip about a Viking. Whoa, what is that? Am I still on? Okay. Something keeps disconnecting on my computer sometimes. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I gotta look into that later. So as long as you still can hear me, just worried that my mic would go down. That's the most important thing. As long as my audio is recording, I'm really. So we see the viewpoint, yeah, of the Marines, some of the Vice Admiral Marines, and some of the others watching this stuff go down. And then we also switch briefly to, we see that some of the giants are lining up with other pacifistas, and they're still taking out many of the close Marine ships there to wear down the numbers. Because at this point, I still can't tell. This would be something I would like to see in the anime that'll help clear up. Because sometimes there are some times where anime clears up some confusions. Are the close ships there at this point? Some of them, I'm assuming some of them are still attempting to bombard the island with cannon fire. Or are they focusing their efforts on the pacifistas and now the giants as well? I would assume that would be the more logical route. Is that like that one vice admiral even said like maybe we should hold off the buster call. I feel like most of them probably are doing some effort of that to defend themselves now, because the pacifistas and giants combined are like a force to be reckoned with. And so we got that going on, and we briefly see too that Dorian Bragi, along with a couple other allies, look like I thought they went alone, but they show that they have 2 followers at least coming with them, and they're slowly heading toward where Luffy and the other Gorosei are positioned on the island. And so now we switch to briefly the room of authority in there too, and we see the aftermath of the summoning. And it shows a circular thing in front of the couches they always sit in, with all that lightning and flamey stuff going on. Meanwhile, their Denden Mushi they were still on, projecting the video message from Vegapunk, and that's giving us an idea of where we are at time-wise. And in that one, Vegapunk's trying to build up the time, because he's keeping the recording going on while he's so that the projector, he kept the recording on while he was waiting for it, so that the video would have that 10-minute buffer before the where they could reasonably assume that most people would be able to get a Denden Mushi activated anywhere in the world. And he's just talking about he looks like he's doing like a pitch about how to make coffee. He's basically made his own version of like instant coffee, it looks like, or concentrate, where he said, "What's the answer to everyone's dreams? You know, with a single drop, you put it in a mug and you have a delicious brew." And then he says to Shaka in the video, "How many minutes did that take up now?" And then Shaka continues in the video, "Oh, it wasn't exactly a strict deadline to 10 minutes, but we still have 7 minutes to go." And now we switch to a big double spread here. All the Gorosei start appearing. The little circular, did I call it a pentagram? No, pentagram has the stars, right? It's a summoning circle, I'm going to call it. I think that's what I've read in like other books. I read books about I have a great book series that's about summoning demons, and I think they call it summoning circle. I'm going to call it that for now. Each one has an individual, so there was like one single summoning circle at Marijois in front of the couches, but now each one has their own one coming up right behind where Saturn is. And these guys are all even bigger than Saturn, it looks like, especially the one. We'll get into the one here. He's probably as big as Kaido, and I'll explain why in it. So the Saturn stands there, and the other guys all start surrounding him. And we first start seeing them only in a black silhouette. And this is very similar to chapter 1085, where Sabo saved or tried to save King Cobra, but now Oda is slowly showing better details of them. Actually, where is the other one too? Right here, yeah. So back then it was just dark silhouettes with the white eyeballs, and we got an idea of what each one was, and we figured out when Saturn first showed up in like what was that 1092 or so, that he was the one on the far left behind Sabo. Now we each see each of them, and they get these eyeballs with like they're kind of long, elongated with pointy ends, and they got a dark circular and a dark iris. And where is it? Now we get a great double spread with all of them. Wait a minute, is that the right one? 1 second. I gotta sometimes check these images are lined up right. Is that the right one? 5, 4. Yeah, I just want to check. So I get this right. I don't like. Sometimes I get pages. There was a chapter a while back, like with Kuma's flashback, with the last 2 pages were mixed up in the unofficial release. Wait, where does it show their names? Wait a minute. Where did that show their names? Hold on, I gotta get this up now. Oh, it comes up right there. Duh. Okay. So, I actually was jumping ahead. So, what we do first here is they jump. After they show all 5 of them together, first we see Sanji running away, and he's hearing the summoning happening. I think he's assuming, yeah, he's like, oh crap, this is getting worse. We gotta hurry up because Luffy's all alone with those guys. And Luffy, we see Luffy's expression. He's like, oh crap, there's 5 of you monsters? And then we get on the double page, we get all 5 of them, and it shows us which one is which. Because a few of them, these other ones in their true forms, we're seeing them in their, I would say, basically not their hybrid form. They're in their main animal form. Each one looks, you can't even tell some of them what they are, so they give us a rundown. I'm trying to say their names right, but a couple of them I'm sure to butcher. The first one is we see Saturn again, and we see his form, and he's called the Gyoki, and he's a spider, more or less. You saw. The next one is, wait, what does he look like? Yeah, the next one is St. Marcus Mars, who's the guy with the long, pointed mustache, like this, and he's turned into an Itsumare. And he is basically he's the one that looks like a bird. And then we see Saint Mercury, no, Top Man, the guy with the birthmark and the more, he's like that. He's based on what, one of those former Russian prime ministers, I believe. And he's turned into some kind of boar-looking thing called the Hokai, and it's got like tusks coming out, and his beard and facial hair are completely gone. Actually, it's the same with the others. All these other ones who have facial hair, their monster forms don't show that the way Saturn kept his, so we know right away it's him. So then we got the pig. Then we see Saint Ethan. I'm gonna say Ethan, yeah. He's turned into some, and he's the most interesting one to me because we saw a bit of this with I think I mentioned this back when 1085 came out. He looks like some kind of angel of death type thing, or the horseman of death from the Christian stories. And lastly, one of the most interesting ones too is Saint Shepherd has turned into a giant sandworm thing. It makes me think that Oda's been watching Dune or reading Dune, because those giant sandworms are one of the main central points of the plot in there with their existence in that on the planet of Arrakis. Was that called Arrakis? Something like that. So then we get a great double page spread with all 5 of them together, and it's just a really good. Like Oda really, I can see why Oda probably took a break. This, some of Oda's art lately, I know maybe because he's working so hard, has lacked a little bit of refinement from like his older stuff. But here he really went into it with this double page with all 5 elders, Saturn at the front, and then the what was that? Peter and Ethan on the left, and then the other 2 on the right. And boy, they all look really messed up and demonic. But I do have one question here too I wanted to bring up. I was re-looking at the chapter with Sabo again here, and I can't place. There's a picture there in that one spot where. Wait, let me pull it up. When I go like that. It's just weird because one of them in the shot with Sabo was crawling up on the walls with these big hands, and it doesn't really look the same as some of these. I'm trying to figure out which one that was. So I'm starting to think that was maybe a bit there, Eam-sama, but or Emu or Eam, but I don't know. It's just like you can pinpoint some of the others in that shot back with Sabo. On the left there was Saturn. To his right, further back was Ethan, and then you can see which one's the bird again? Whatever one's the bird to the right, just to the right of Ethan, and then to the far right is probably supposed to be the boar, the one who's the boar. But that one on top was a little confusing because it doesn't really look like a worm there. Uh, anyways, that's just something to take a look at. I wonder what if Oda was just trying to be so vague that he didn't get some of them. And now he refined them like 25 chapters later, so now it's like a little different looking. But yeah, we see this great shot. And these things are all huge. We get a shot of Luffy bouncing here, and the worm one especially is like similar size, probably to Kaido in his dragon Azure dragon form. And the horse one's quite tall. Ethan's quite tall. And that one's interesting, and because he's got like a skeletal. He looks like a rotting corpse of a horse. He's got skeletal stuff. The spinal column of the neck is shown. The ribs are showing, and the legs, they're all bone. There's no flesh on that. And so the first thing that starts happening though is due to the Ethan takes a smart strategic. Saint Ethan takes a strategic approach of he starts going after the pacifistas. He like looks like he has like fire showing up around his body, and he flies ahead, and we see him one of the pacifistas who's still on one end of the island firing its lasers, and he comes in on it, and he goes into his hybrid form, and we get to see him use Kitetsu the first in action, and he just slices this thing. It looks like he slices it in half, but I think they clarify later he's not really slicing them. So he slices this one named the PX-16, and we see some other Marines like watching like this happen, but like he did it so fast that they didn't even see it was him. So wait, now we got another double spread. There. So now, yeah, we keep seeing him go around slashing some of the others, and we start seeing the other Marines report this, and they're like, "Oh, something's going on. Someone's on our side, and someone's on our side, helping us out here." And so, let's see, other side of. And someone clarifies, no, this is where I don't know if that's supposed to be. So someone here, yes, saying, "Oh no, they're not dead. They're not." So that means he's temporarily disabling them. I would have thought he just would cut them up, but he maybe wants to keep those things alive because they are expensive. Like the original ones were already cost as much to produce as a battleship. It was stated somewhere. So he's trying to keep them intact, but they are making the tide of this battle here extremely difficult for the Marines. And someone reports that, starts reporting that, oh, the Marines, the freezing, they call it, he froze their neural circuitry and rendered them paralyzed. And then we see Doberman taking charge among the vice admirals and say, okay, this is our chance. Someone go get Bonnie. And while this is happening, we switch back to Sanji briefly, who's saying, guys, you gotta listen to me. There's something going on here. We can't waste time. You get out of here right now. So actually, Sanji looks like he's prepared to stay behind too, and he's just telling others, this is looking real bad. You better go. And while that's happening, who's the one that flies again? The one that can fly, that was St. Mars. St. Mars takes to the air, and he's surveying the situation. I think he's spotting where the others are. He's above Sanji actually there, right? Wait. So he's up there, and what is he doing there? No, he's flying up to the Labo phase. That's right. And while that's happening, someone's flying up to Labo phase. And actually, he's not just a bird. I think I kind of called him a bird, but looks like he's some kind of chimera thing. Oh, not really like chimera because of the line. This thing, he has like a face that looks like a snake with a beak, or almost a bird, like almost like a vulture, really. But no, actually, he does have some hair too, but his beard is gone. But he's also got this serpent-like tail, but he's got the wings and talons of a bird. So not three, maybe just two animals, not three like a chimera. It's like a lion, snake, and I forget the other animal. So while that's happening, we see, yeah, it looks like Saint Mars is attempting to break into the labo phase, and so we see him dive bomb toward it. And I can't tell if they were supposed to imply that he succeeds. It looks like he goes into it and there's an explosion as the defenses are activated to stop his entry. So I'm gonna have to go back on that. So he's trying to get, that's correct, because the Straw Hats must be up there, right? So let's see. I think that's right. Now, other than Luke, let's see. So Frankie and Atlas's group are still on the bottom of the ground. They're both the ship. They're with the pirates, the giant pirates. Luffy's with the Saturn and the others. Now Sanji's running that way toward where, probably following the trail of where Bonnie and Frankie went. And so now so the Mars looks like he's trying to get into where the others are above, so they can. Oh, actually no, duh. He's probably getting up there because the labo phase is there. I'm assuming he's going up there to try to make sure the message is not broadcasted. That's right. So he's up there to do that. And so we see that briefly, and I don't think they cut back to him in this chapter. I may be wrong, but now we cut briefly to also see that the one with Kitetsu, I forget his name now. He's going around still shooting, taking out some of the taking out more of the Mark IIIs. Wait, why is the other one not up? Let me pull this up. So no. Ethan. Yeah, Ethan. Alright, never mind. Yeah. So he's going on doing that. And now we switch to Luffy. And the other ones are Saturn and the others are trying to team up against Luffy to take him out. We see Saturn's using his tentacle-like attacks again. I mentioned in the last one his spider legs also seem to be able to stretch and act like tentacles and reach out, similar really to what Luffy can do when he uses it, was like using his Gear 4 attacks, the Snake Man, and even in Bounce Man when he used the Python. He's trying to swing at Luffy, and while he's doing that, the one of Saint Peter, he starts going underground in order to try to get around Luffy. And as Luffy even sees it, like, oh, this thing can go underground, so they're beginning to team up on him. So wait, those two are there. Wait, where's the boar one? We don't really see the boar one at the moment, do we? Let me see. Yeah, the boar one really doesn't do anything in this, whatever his name, doesn't really do anything in this chapter yet. Saint Top Man. So yeah, so far, so back to now we go back to the Straw Hats, on the top there, who are receiving the message from. And then so Sanji starts, Usopp communicates back with Sanji, says, yeah, we got your message, we're trying to get out of here, but we have to wait, we still don't have Zoro and Jinbei yet. But they have, well, at this point, they have met up with Brook and, where are they? Brook and Lilith. We get a little moment where, as Usopp's talking, we got Nami, we see Nami and Chopper with him, and in the background is behind them is Brook and Lilith is kicking Brook in the shin for whatever happened. It looks like the Sunny crashed because it's on its side there. So that's right, because he did the ice, so she's pissed that I wish it was, never mind. She's pissed at him, as they always do, and they're using a comedic moment where he's she's taking her anger out of him. Pinky, where are you going? So so they're regrouped at the top now, with the exception of Jinbei and Zoro at the moment. We don't see Robin anywhere, or we still don't see Stussy either. But we know they're out of commission at the moment. So they're probably both there nearby because we know they're both injured, and oh, okay. Okay, I see the communication. So behind them there, as Usopp's saying, we still Usopp relays to Sanji. We met up with the others. We're almost ready to go, except for the other two. And we see Brooke talk like, see, Brooke talk to Lilith and say, "I told you it would work out." And she says, "Oh, thanks to Usopp, not you." Oh, I see why now. Oh, that's what that is. So Usopp finally was the one who stopped the ship. He used one of his packets of seed things he's always carrying, and he looks like he used something like bamboo, and they sprouted out of the ground instantly, and that the ship hit that to stop. Okay. By the way, I forgot to mention too, all these forms of the Gorosei definitely awakened. You can see around them, each one has those dark cloud flames, similar to Luffy's, but obviously not the dark versions. Kind of similar to I think though even Lucci has that too going on with him with the dark flames, whereas Luffy's like the only one we've seen so far where he's awakened and has white, and presumably if Kaido's awakened his thing, this look like regular flames, because he's a dragon. He's the dragon. So now we get to bit. We figure out too what happens with Zoro and that. Zoro and Lucci. But first we see, first we see Jinbei getting close there, and it just sounds. He's hearing the communications, and he's like, "Oh, this is getting really bad. We gotta. If I find that Lucci and Zoro are still fighting, I'm just gonna have to drag Zoro away." Now we get to the fight here, and we see that they're still clashing here. And Zoro actually at this point, one of his swords is knocked out of his hands. Which one would that be? I think that's Enma. And Lucci's still trying to talk to him in order to try to probably make his guard go down, I assume. And he's just saying, isn't it tempting to leave this fight and just go find the source of all that hockey we keep hearing arriving? And so while that's happening, as we're fighting there, we see Jinbei finally getting really close to them, and he's telling Jinbei's telling Sanji, it looks like, yeah, that I found where they are. And this is the moment. This is one of those other moments where Sanji annoys me a bit. And he's like, Sanji's saying, "Oh, damn him, Mosshead. He's putting everyone in danger." And it's like, no, he's keeping he's keeping Nami out of danger. Lucci would be going after the others up there, and you're down there. So Zoro and maybe even Jinbei are the only ones that can hold off Lucci. So shut your mouth, Sanji. I'm sick of Sanji when he does that. He does that stuff at the wrong times. Zoro is doing the right thing here. He's taking the initiative to make sure that he can protect the others. So when that stuff happens, I get a little frustrated. Wait, no, what's happening there? So this fight ends here now. Zoro finally has enough, and as he catches as Enma comes back to his hand, he gets serious. He pulls out his he finally pulls out Wado, because he's been only fighting with Enma and Kitetsu the Third to like stave off Lucci's attacks. And as Enma comes back, and gets in his hand, he pulls out a technique he calls three sword style, and it's called, this reads Spotted Leopard Havana Hunt. Is that like Havana, like Havana something? And he does that, his three sword attack, so and slashes goes past Lucci as it, well, you know those attacks like they collide and he goes past, and he slices up. It looks like slashes might go across. We see the back of Lucci, so it's hard to say for sure, but he goes across. Wait, let me pull it up here again. I got the big screen to see this. Right there. Yeah, he pulls out he doesn't hold back at this point, and he just takes out Lucci apparently. We don't see him fall exactly. We just switch that to that where he slashes him good. Wait. Oh wait, no, you can tell he's briefly because you see Lucci just start bleeding out, and Jinbei. We get a shot of Jinbei watching that happening, and Zoro just like looks like, yeah, I'm done with you. I shouldn't have. I've been playing around too much. I should not have even held off. Held on. Stop playing around sooner. Oh wait, where am I? So yeah, we get near the end of the chapter now, and Luffy is what Luffy does, as I thought, the Saint wait, what was his name again? I keep forgetting his name. The sandworm fellow here, Saint Peter. He comes up from underneath Luffy quickly, and he grabs Luffy in the grabs Luffy in his mouth. And this is the second time Luffy, as in his awakened form, has got someone trying to eat him. He had Kaido do the same thing, and so I'm not even worried about him getting eaten by this guy. But at this point, right now, as it happens, we see Dory and Bragi rushing in. They're like less than 100 feet from them, and that's nothing for them because they're over. So no, it's a little further probably. They get really close and they got their weapons ready, and they see in the distance as Peter had swallowed up Luffy, and Dory. Wait, which one is which? I think that's Bragi. I forget which one. Bragi, the bulky one. He's like, "Oh, did you see him?" And the other guy's, "Yeah, what a nostalgic face." And they both said, "This a dark belly is no place for someone like him to go, for his life to end, or something like that." And they get in close, and they swing together and sync, and they cut Peter's head off, the sandworm, and you just see it go up, and it's a great shot in the double part of the double page, and Luffy just flies out from right where they cut, and he's just still laughing away. You could tell he wasn't really concerned with being in that situation, especially since Kaido did it to him a few weeks ago. And then he sees the two, Dory and Bragi, and he wait a minute, I want to get their names right again. Hold on. Yeah, Dory's the swordsman. Yeah. And so he gets out. Luffy's head pops out, and he's like, "Oh, there you guys are here." And then Bragi's like starts laughing, and he's like, "Yeah, it's been too long, Straw Hat." And Dory ends the chapter with saying, "We had to come see you. The waiting was getting unbearable on the island, on Little Garden." And the chapter ends right there. Oh my God, so much in this chapter. I kind of hope. So start off. This was a great chapter, of course. But I hope that the anime will expand on this. This is one of those chapters I hope the anime will expand on. I bet they'll put this into almost 2 episodes, as they've been sometimes doing with some of this stuff. Wait, why is that shot there? Oh, is that what happened there? When they show. Oh, I think that's what happened there. I think part of the reason Zoro gets so serious at the end here is that he hears Sanji say about, "Hey, you're being a burden," and that like just pisses him off. And he's finally like, "Fine, I'll get serious then, and I'll finish this." And he's like really gets angry there, I think, and when he gets Enma back, he just like, "Yeah, I'm done with you, Lucci. I got this asshole on my crew. Who I'm gonna go take my anger out. I'm taking my anger on you, and then I'll go finish him off once and for all." Because those two do go at each other a lot, don't they? They always just end up fighting with each other. They even had that. I think they were showing that. Yeah, is when their bounties got revealed after Wano, and they're getting at each other again because Sanji's mad now that Zoro. Because Sanji, for a while, there was a point where Sanji's bounty was actually higher than Zoro's. I think that might have been around Eni's lobby, near the time skip, somewhere there. For a while there, he was actually a higher bounty, and I think it stayed that way until after Wano. I remember him commenting. I think it's when Zoro saved Hiyori at the execution of their the one guy in Wano, and he was jealous that Zoro was saving a woman and he wasn't. So, also this, yeah. So this is very interesting now because now with all these guys in reinforcement here, since Kizaru's down, now this is serious trouble. It is trouble for the Straw Hats because now it's like these guys probably are all at least as strong as Kizaru or more. We know Saturn has something going on with him where Luffy was able to harm Kizaru but not Saturn, so that's a problem there. But we got Dory and Bragi there, so it's like Luffy, and I think they had, like I said, 2 other people with them. So really at this point, Luffy's got enough numbers now that, well, I know the one Gorosei, the one who's flying up there, and he's trying to get the Vegapunk's lab to make sure that message never gets out. So we were at the beginning of the chapter. We saw there were 7 minutes to go. So it's probably like 5 minutes left. I'm assuming by now. So awakening yokai. Okay, I think so. I think Tekking 101 it was pointed out that, yeah, that's right. Way back when Saturn got revealed, I'm sure others said it, like that the yokai was definitely with the influence that Oda was going for. Now I see that here with all these guys looking very demonic, especially with Saint Ethan having that undead angel of death, not angel of death, horseman of death. Yeah, it has to be a horseman, duh, because he's a horseman. He's a horseman, literally. He in his hybrid form here. He actually kind of looks like a centaur, essentially. When you see him going after the Mark IIIs, because first he's in his main form he looks like just a horse, and he actually has his flames around his shoulders. The flames go up, back, and then they come down, kind of like how Saturn's does. Actually, they're all like that, aren't they? It looks like the one, the worm. He's got they all got their flames where it comes up around their neck. Actually, yeah. But back with Ethan, he has when he turns into his hybrid form, the horse head disappears and his upper torso shows up, but the flames still come up behind him like a big scarf, a long scarf, when he's cutting that first pacifista. So another thing at this point too is they hopefully those pirate the other ones with Bonnie and the others are very vigilant, because Doberman's trying to still rally together troops to have them head for after Bonnie and take her out so that they can regain control of the pacifistas. So there's a lot of moving parts here as there has been, but now we got different things with going on where we got the group at the top. They've almost all reunited. Now Zoro and Jinbei can get back to him. We got the group at the bottom. Gotta move my hand here. Group at the bottom that is with the pirates. They're down there. And now we got Sanji's trying to make his way toward them. And we got Luffy with Dory and Bragi. Yeah, we got 4 groups here working together, and we got the Gorosei are spreading out the dough to try to make this more difficult. We got the one heading for the Labo phase. We got the other guy taking out the pacifistas. And we did not get to see the Hog guy do anything else. After his appearance, the chapter doesn't show him again. But presumably, I'm guessing Dory and Bragi are probably gonna have to start fighting with them. And Luffy, I feel like Luffy will still go and fight Saturn, while Dory and Bragi probably may each individually fight. They swung together to go after to save Luffy, but now there's one Heat there, and the other 2. Yeah, so the Dory and Bragi will probably end up fighting Saint Topman and Peter themselves to help Luffy even the odds here. And again, I think they had 2. I saw 2 other men following them, so the odds here are certainly much better. Oh, so that's it today, I guess. Holy shit. I just was not. I wasn't sure what I was expecting with these forms. I really hadn't been thinking about this. I've been trying to do more stuff, and it's ironic that Luffy, that stuff's going on with the demon stuff again. Because I was doing some more research with Native American stuff again, with related to Hazbin Hotel. So just like everything's all these different content coming out was relating to stuff with different types of demons. I was looking up about Alistair and he has been Hotel and how I thought he might be related to a Native American demon, but I guess I still think that's possible. But there also is like this stuff I read about a little bit of his lore, and that Alistair, I guess, was just a serial killer who was mistaken for a deer when he was getting rid of one of his victims one day. That's how he died. Someone just shot him. So uh, I guess that also has to do why he eats deer, because in the one episode he's eating a deer raw. But that still leads me to the Native American demon. I can't think of its name now. Started with an A, because those things are supposed to be cannibals too. So, although did I say Alistair was a cannibal? Anyways, I'm off topic. I got a lot of that Alice Hazbin Hotel in the brain. But yeah. So everything's going wrong and everything's going right at the same time. Everyone's kind of regrouped more or less into two groups, well, except for Sanji and Vegapunk and Luffy. The others have formed into two groups at the top and at the bottom. So hopefully they can. Now the thing is, how will Lilith, or how are they going to get the Sunny down? Because they're up there, and then if they do take the level phase shield down, that will allow the other guy to get into the lab and try and destroy it. What was that one again? St. Mars. He might, if the shield goes down at this moment, the Vegapunk's message will not get out, because it's still maybe 5 minutes left, and that guy, I'm sure, won't need that long to just like destroy that whole lab where the broadcast is stemming from. So yeah, that's it for today. I'm gonna just end it here, and yeah, thanks for watching.